welcome to another episode of the Alpha Male Podcast.
Glad you could join us today. Hope you enjoyed today's topic.
Yes, and we have a good one for you. I know we've been talking about dieting and kind of getting your weight in check the last couple episodes, and we want to hit home on why that's important. And it's not just you should want to be in shape. There's definite reasons to help your masculinity to have a healthy body weight or even a fit body type.
Yeah, I think psychologically it affects you when you know you're grossly out of shape or overweight, whatever you want to call it. You don't have the same confidence and the same energy to go out and do the things that you want to do.
No.
So that's a key component to why you would want to have your weight in check or closer to where it should be.
Oh, absolutely. I think when you're out of shape, it hits you on so many different levels as a man. From a health standpoint, obviously, like a physical health standpoint, but an emotional health standpoint, a mental health standpoint. I mean, men are programmed to want to protect their loved ones. And if you have trouble getting out of a chair, I got to believe that's your subconscious is going like, oh man, that's a hit to your masculinity mindset when that happens.
And I was just thinking today, driving through our neighborhood, how many women are out there doing the yard work, and I see the guy, he's out there with the broom and the dustpan picking up after his wife, weed whacking, walking with the lawnmower, cutting the grass, and it's just kind of like, buddy, you should be doing that because it'll make you get some exercise in to lose some of that weight and get you back going again in the right direction.
Well, do you think though, do you think that it has to do with low energy levels because people are out of shape? Do you think that it has to do with this kind of mindset that women are now, like men are allowing women to lead, which I think is kind of weird? What do you think is the cause of that? I mean, or do you think it's just multifaceted?
Well, I think a lot of women want to protect their guy because the guy's not nearly close to being in shape like maybe he was at one time in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Also, as we've touched on a little bit, with the male hormones going down because of what we put in our bodies, food-wise. Matter of fact, I just heard a commercial driving back from the gym today that they were pushing soy products, and they were saying how Ohio's one of the leading states in producing and growing soy.
Great.
Which, oh no, I hope people aren't, especially the male population, indulging in too much of that because of...
Yeah, soy will make you a woman, or as close as a man can be to a woman. Because I'm not going to get into the conversation about can a man be a woman, because that's a whole nother episode.
Right. But it's just with raising that estrogen level, which lowers your testosterone level. And I know, like, for testosterone level, it used to be 300. If you were below that, you needed help. Now I had heard some doctors, if you're not down to below 100, they won't have any kind of help for you. But once again, if you were a woman, they would give you estrogen products with no problem. And I don't understand that because both sexes produce different hormones to make them what they are.
Yeah, I try all the time to come up with reasons on why we have allowed men for their testosterone levels to get so low in this country. And is it on purpose? Is it by accident? neglect. And I mean, I, as dumb as I think some people are out there, especially the ones that are in charge of our food regulations and everything like that, I just cannot believe that they are that dumb or that's like negligent to not realize that our men are under attack in this country. You know, like their testosterone levels are the low, like looking around. Why do men have hips now? You can just open your eyes and go, huh, something's not right. You don't need studies. You don't need all this money backing you. Like somebody should have sounded the alarm a long time ago and said, okay, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, and that's why I'm looking forward to Kennedy being in charge of our health and looking into all the different things where hopefully he'll call some manufacturers out on it to help get our food healthy again and get rid of some of the other chemicals they're putting in our bathing products, our food products,
Everywhere.
etc.
Well, isn't it crazy too that they have put more effort in to going after sport athletes, taking stuff that okay, yes, they maybe made them, like more on the manly spectrum than they are with helping men that are literally falling off the spectrum because they're so low. I mean, it's crazy. The fact that there are women walking around in this country that have more testosterone in their bodies, I think, than some men right now is a problem.
Well, once again, too, by just getting your weight more under control, doing a little bit of exercise, which we'll touch on as we go along, will go a long way to helping regain some of your masculinity back.
Naturally.
Right, and making you feel good about yourself. And I just think, once again, if you like the way you look, which you're never going to be happy, but at least you'll be a lot happier looking and knowing, wow, I can actually see my toes.
Yeah.
I can actually sit down in the chair and get myself up. I can walk up and down the steps. I can go out and play with my kids or my grandkids out in the yard. Or I don't have to sit there and be a couch potato.
Because that's going to take a mental toll on you. Just sitting around. Like, there's no, I don't believe that there's any man on this planet that is really satisfied by doing that. Like, okay, maybe for 20 minutes, but that's it.
Yeah, I would say so. Matter of fact, that just made me think of when I was in the hospital down at MD Anderson for this laryngectomy surgery. By the second day after the surgery, they let me get up and they told me I could walk around the floor of the, on the floor that they had all the cancer patients. Well, I ended up doing 88 laps the first day. They didn't know what to do
That's
with me.
after surgery. I want to specify the day after surgery.
And once again, I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm just saying, I just felt so much better getting up, moving around, than just laying there. And that goes for anybody. If all you do is come home from work and lay on the couch, you can't be feeling that good.
Well, two, like men are programmed to be hunters, gatherers, and fighters. And I think that this country has allowed our men to just be complacent. And like, I think that that comes down to the biggest problem. And then, with when your weight's unhealthy and all that, and it just compounds it, and you become a complacent blob. And that so that then just bleeds into so many different aspects of your life. Whether it's career, you lose the fight to advance.
Yeah, we'll go for that promotion.
Yeah, you lose the fight when you're down, sick, injured, whatever. You just take, oh, I'm in the hospital and I'm down. I can't do anything. There's no fight left. And I think that that also hurts people. People don't even think about that, but that your fight that you have in you, I don't care what your diagnosis is. I mean, this is scientifically proven. You can look at all kinds of different papers on it. Your fight inside trumps any diagnosis that you have. There, you can have, there are so many times where you might have, a doctor diagnoses you and you have 6 months to live. Those people that believe it will die in 6 months. If you do not believe
Yeah.
it, a lot more people survive and last a lot longer. And I think that, I'm not saying women can't do that too, but testosterone and men, like that is programmed into your guys' soul. And I think that is the biggest thing that is lost right now.
I would agree where men are just happy to sit back now. And that's not the way it should be. You should be wanting to, I'll use the word attack every day to get up and want to go out and accomplish something, whatever it may be. But if you're happy just sitting there baking cookies, watching TV, that's not what it's about.
No.
You got to get up and get moving. And by just some of the simple steps that we will continue to go over, we could get you back on the right track to be a happy, successful man again, where you're able to go out and do the things you want to do.
Absolutely. And I think that food and diet is the thing that people need to kind of attack first, because you don't realize that when you're putting poison in your body, that affects all your systems. And so if you're eating something that tells your brain like you just have no motivation and affects your neurotransmitters, that you're like, bleh, it doesn't matter how motivated you wish to be, your brain's telling you, I don't want to do anything today. If you feel like shit, if you're all inflamed, it's going to be very hard to overcome all those feelings and get your ass outside and go for a walk. So if you can eliminate little by little all the poisons and all the toxins and inflammatory foods that you're feeding yourself, you are setting yourself up for success so much better than going like, I'm going to do this and then still eat like shit. I think it makes it so much harder. And that's why I think it's so important to start with your diet.
Yeah, but just like you said, go out for a walk. Now, I realize some of you people might not even be able to walk around the whole block, and that's okay. Get up and walk around your living room and dining room in your house. Then work up to walking around the outside of your house and just go out and do little increments of that throughout the day. And one of the things I'd always laugh, because people would tell me and my wife and kids when we were out to eat, they'd come over and talk to us about getting in shape and etc. They would always say, I don't have 5 hours in the day to do all that. And I would look at them and go, I don't have 5 hours in the day to do all that either. I was a school teacher. I coached football. We had 3 children. One of them you're looking at. And they all played sports, so we were involved in all that.
Well, not only involved, he was a head coach to all of our teams, and we played. The only thing you refused to coach me in was cheerleading, which you said, I will go to every game or every meet of yours, but I'm sorry, Heather, I'm not coaching you. And that I understood. But
I didn't know how to do the moves, so I
No.
had to back off. But once again, I would always ask people, what's that TV program on at 7 o'clock on Tuesday? And they would rattle off about 3 or 4 programs. And I would say, hey, if you got up just during the commercial and did jumping jacks, walked around your coffee table till your program came back on, in an hour program, you would have between 15 and 20 minutes of exercise without missing your TV program. And then they kind of look at me and it's kind of like, oh, I never thought of that. And that's why, once again, you don't have to be a slave to the gym or anything else like that. You just got to get up and do something more than you've been doing.
yeah, or even take the stairs. Like instead of taking an elevator, park a little further away from. Don't go into the first parking spot close to a store. Walk a little bit. Like make fitness a part of your life, and because you should want to like you should think that you deserve that. Like that's too what I don't understand. So many people are like, like, oh, like they'd rather watch TV. That how is that good for you? That's and just like drugs can overtake your life, and like, oh, they're they on drugs, they're miss this and this and this in life. So is it when you're sitting on a couch watching TV? It's the same thing. It's just not illegal to watch TV. You're still wasting your life away.
Yeah, and once you get moving around, your body releases endorphins, which make you feel better. And once again, that's very easy to get used to if you make time for it. And once again, just a little bit of time to add to doing something than you've been doing. Because small changes return big dividends.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it just comes down to you just have to, you got to find that thing that's programmed down into you, that fighter, and say, you know what, like enough's enough. I want to start changing my life. And it is up to you. And I think that that's just what it, like men need to find that again. And I think once they do as a whole, we're going to see, I mean, society, this country, everything just go back to a more masculine society. And I think that that's what we need.
Right. And one of the good things I had heard, I forget the gentleman who had brought this up, but if you took a 10-minute walk after you ate 3 times a day, that would help control your blood sugar.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. That's going to drive me nuts. Who was
And
it?
if you do 10-minute walks, not run, walk, by the end of 3 meals, you'll have 30 minutes in, and it'll help digest your food and you'll feel better. And that's a real easy way to start off.
It's the guy that came out with the vertical diet.
The vertical diet.
Yeah,
yes.
his name's escaping me. But shout out to him. He's right. Like just 10 minutes after you eat, that's like nothing. And I think people discount these little changes too. I don't think that they realize how much they add up. Doing that is the same as someone going to the gym, driving there, and going on a treadmill for 30 minutes.
Well, that's one thing I know with our clients. We always tell them you don't have to do the treadmill. Michelle and I, we go out every morning with our puppy dog, and we walk him out in the national park by our house. And he gets to run around and have fun, and her and I get to walk where we walk for 25, 30 minutes. And hey, we got our cardio done, and we feel great, and we're ready to attack the day. Now, I couldn't always do that when I was working, but when I would come home, we would go make time then to do something.
Well, so I work and I don't have time to do that. So I bought one of those walking pads that I think they're like $150. You just, it's not like a whole treadmill thing. So they lay flat. You can put them in a closet. So they're not huge. You don't need a lot of room. You can stick them underneath, like if you had like a counter, and you can even work while you're doing it. I work from home. But even if I wasn't working from home, at least I don't like, my mornings would be super tight.
You're saving up so you can take care of your parents.
That's exactly what I'm doing. But I would, since I, wouldn't have a lot of time in the morning, you could use that. So you don't, like that cuts out the driving time to the gym, and allows you, you can even do stuff while you're, like I said, you can get a jump on work, whatever it is. So there's just different ways that you can sneak it in. I don't think that, I think you're a great example. So many people are like, I don't have time. I don't have time. Again, you worked a full-time job. You coached football. You coached us all in, like head coached us all in all different sports, softball, basketball. I don't know. I think Jamie played soccer for a little bit. And you competed.
I didn't coach him in that.
Okay. Well, then that probably was a short stint with that. But he's a football guy, not a soccer guy. No, but, and you competed in bodybuilding, in So if you can figure out how to do all of that somehow,
And by the way, guys, it got me out of a lot of housework.
yeah, that it did. But I'm sure me, Lauren, and Jamie had to pick up your slack, jerk. um, no, but like if you can find time to do that, then anybody can find time to get a walk in, focus on eating a little bit better. And I just don't think that really don't have an excuse.
And I was just thinking what we bought for your grandmother, that pedal bike.
Oh yeah. And she's gonna be 99 here in December. So in like a month.
And we have it set up right by her chair that she sits on
Yeah,
at home.
she does little pedals so she can stay active. And also, I mean, she has a walker, but she she doesn't even need it all the time. And that it's so important. I like cannot stress that enough to get active. I don't care how old you are because you will thank yourself so much. Like the older you get, the healthier you are now. It's going to take you. It's going to take you a lot farther.
And remember, every day you get one day older. Mm-hmm. So you could either get one day better or one day going the other way. And I know what all of us want is to see you doing better so that you can enjoy your life and go out there and do all the things you wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, like I just think life is so much more fun when you're a healthier weight because you can just do so much more. You don't have to think about, how long am I going to have to stand there? Is there going to be a place for me to sit? So there's just so many more benefits to being in shape besides just I like how I look. And I think too, a lot of people can use an excuse, oh, well, like I'm okay with my body. Like the body positivity trend that I'm glad it's starting to like dwindle away. But that's such bullshit. I don't care. If you are obese, you are not comfortable with your body. And like, don't get me wrong. You should always you should like yourself and love yourself for no matter.
Right. But try to do something to improve it even more.
Yes, you should always want to make yourself better or at least healthy. And I don't believe that there's one person that looks in the mirror that's obese and says, like, I like that. I look fantastic. It doesn't happen.
Well, even from the way you look, but just what you're able to do. Because you can't do as much when you're overweight and you got no energy and everything else. You're really not enjoying the day that we were meant to do.
No.
By getting up and doing the different things we would like to do.
Agreed.
And, once again, if you've never walked, make it today that you walk for 1 or 2 minutes and then go sit down and gel. That's twice as much as you normally did. That's a great start. And just slowly add to it. Mm-hmm. And you'll be amazed at how good you feel. And if you don't, track me down because you would be the first one I ever met that didn't work on.
Yeah, for real. Well, I think that that's a really good place to end for the day. Again, guys, get your health in order. You will see so many benefits. I think your life will just get better and better and better.
And that's why we're starting from the basics. We're not trying to make it super sophisticated.
Yet.
With all these formulas for diet and everything else. We will eventually get into all that. But just to start today, to go do something that'll make you feel better and look better, which will help you out immensely in the long run.
Yeah, because there's so many things out there, like advanced stuff, that, to kind of tweak here, tweak there, make you better, kind of push the limit a little bit. But none of them are going to work if you don't have a foundation. Like if you're not walking at all, at least like for 20 minutes a day and you're eating like crap, none of that other stuff that we can talk about is going to work. It's going to be wasted money because you'll never You always want to max out, like you say. You always want to, get your diet right and then add on. You never want to just start, pulling out these magic things, one, and expect that they're going to work magic, but
Or to go out and spend thousands of dollars on weightlifting equipment or a treadmill or whatever. That's why we said something as simple as walking, doing push-ups, sit-ups, whatever it may be. And once again, just start with one.
yeah. So set that foundation first. Okay, guys.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope this helped you out with our explanations. And trust me, we have a lot more coming.
Yes, we do. We'll see you next time, guys.
Take care.